Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to the next edition of Event Radio. Boy, we're at Race Central today, guys. We are at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals at Beach Bend Raceway. There are cars everywhere. It is a huge event sponsored by the good guys at Quick Fuel, our sponsors. We love them, and the best carburetor builders on the planet, are none. There are cars here, guys, that are unbelievable. You've got street-legal cars running in the fives at over 240 miles an hour. There is everything. It's unbelievable. Most of them with a Quick Fuel carburetor on them that are just walking the dog. I'm telling you, they're getting with the program, doing really, really good stuff. We're going to take as much time as we can, and it looks like it might be a little bit of shower in the forecast, but we're going to beat it. We're going to try to get as much done as we possibly can, introduce you to some real cool racers. We're going to have a big time here at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals at Beach Bend. We hope you enjoy this show because we're going to sure enjoy doing it. We're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and I ride through here, and I pick my favorite cars that I really, really like. And I ran up on a 67 Mustang that really, probably the shell of it or the replica shell of it is about all that's a real 67 Mustang. But this thing is drop dead gorgeous. We're going to take some pictures of it and flip it behind this show. And we've got the jockey of this thing. What is your name, sir?
Mark McDonald.
Mark, where are you from, my friend?
Home is Boonville, Indiana.
Well, that's not far.
No, not too far.
Just across the river. And you still know what sweet tea is. We'd see anybody across the river, we question whether they know what sweet tea and country ham is, But in Boonville, I know you know.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me a little about this hot rod, buddy. It is gorgeous.
Well, this is Charlie Evans' 67 Mustang. We bought the chassis from a fella in Georgia back in March of 2014, and we drug it home. Went over to Tim McCamis's, got a new carbon fiber body, stretched the wheelbase on the car to fit the body, and made some other minor modifications. Basically, I've been from bumper to bumper on it and to turn it into a top sportsman car.
Buddy, she's got to fly. How quick is it?
We were down here Tuesday doing some testing with Philip Oakley and Mr. Bowles, and we went 434 to the 8th at 170 and went 682 at 195 to the quarter, just spraying one system for about 5 seconds.
That is unreal, my friend. That is a hot rod. There's no doubt about it. Ooh. And I know you've got a thing that I look at on the computer a lot, dragstersforsale.com. I always get on there, and that's my dream Christmas list. You know what I mean? That's what
Well, I'm not the sales and marketing guy. JB is my partner and dragstersforsale.com.
JB Straswig, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we've been in business now over 10 years.
Yeah.
And in November we'll celebrate our 11th anniversary. Good relationship. JB's a good businessman. I'd like to think I'm good in shop. And
well, I'd say you're pretty good, You're good at getting old fat guys to stop at the radio. How about that? Get you a bunch of free advertising.
Well, we're kind of handy.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I tell you what, I really do, guys. If you're out there, and this show goes all over the world, so go to dragstersforsale.com. And what's really cool, you can buy some really high-quality stuff and save some money, over the new stuff, and it's just as good,
Yeah, we've been a Strange dealer, or I've been a Strange dealer for many, many years. We just partnered with Quick Fuel and Holly. We're Race Pack WD, servicing WD for Race Pack.
Yeah.
Many things. Anything you need for your race car, we have or can get.
There you go. There you go. Well, it's nothing like being a one-stop shop, huh?
No, it's a good relationship. JB and I are proud of our business.
Well, you should be. It's cool. Now, I mean, I know it's neat, but it's cool too. I mean, that's a good idea, and it's a thing that has been needed for a long time.
Yeah, we like to think of ourselves as an old-time speed shop because we actually race the products that we sell.
Sure.
And we try to give our customers the best possible service we can if they have problems.
And when you guys are out here with them, you know what's cool and what's not. You don't just depend on what you've read or what you've heard or what anybody said, because you guys get out here and get your hands dirty and play.
Yes, we do.
And so there is no substitute for experience. I don't care what you are. I mean, that separates the men from the boys, and you guys are on the game. Are you going to wear them out in the Mustang today?
We've already worn them out.
Oh, have you?
Yes,
that's cool.
So,
that's cool.
This is our first competition meet with the Mustang, and we are the class winner.
Well, buddy, you can't beat that. See, I know how to pick them. See, old age does that. You know what I mean? That's just cool.
Yeah, JB and Tori are at Atlanta at the national event running Top Dragster, and they just won and are going to the semifinals. They're down to 4 cars right now.
Cool. All right. Great deal. Well, we wish them luck, and we hope they wear them out down there. Nothing like doing it everywhere. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, right?
Yeah. This weekend we're spread out.
There you go. Listen, my friend, thank you for spending a couple of minutes with us on Event Radio. This little show goes all over the world, so maybe we get you a little bit of a free plug for dragstersforsale.com.
Well, that's fantastic. We hope you call.
All right, buddy. Guys, we're having a blast at the Quick Fuel Nationals, I guess you would call it. Marvin will kill me if I don't get it right, so I got to get it right. But we're going to have a blast. We're going to be here and talk to a bunch of folks. Guarantee you we won't see any sharper car than we have just started with, but we're going to give it the good old college try. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals. And I run up on the fella that actually owns a Mustang. An old friend that we got to talking, and boy, do we go back or what? Tell everybody who you are.
Well, Spivvy, my name is Charlie Evans. I'm from Owensboro, Kentucky, and I first heard of you in 1966 and saw you race in 1966 at Chandler, Indiana, in the Kentucky Colonel's Dodge funny car.
Yeah, boy, that thing was a death trap, wasn't it? Yeah. David Heath was as great a guy as I have ever known in my life, and he actually taught me to try to drive that thing. And he said, "I don't know, boy, if you're ever going to make it or not." And I said, "Well, David, I don't know. You just got to help me here."
Well, David and I go way back. I started hanging out at his house in Owensboro, Kentucky, doing flunky work. And he was like an older brother to me, and I admired him. I learned a lot from him. And then in later years, he remarried in 1973, and Dr. Pearson and I were in his wedding in 73 when he remarried. And then, unfortunately, David died of cancer in 1974. And Dr. Pearson, Army Armstrong, and myself were pallbearers for David.
Well, David was a great, great friend to me. He was a good guy. I've got some pretty strong ties in the Owensboro area. When I was a kid, Mr. Bill Sterrett hauled me around everywhere, and I was great friends with Billy and Terry.
I was, too. And my connection with Terry, I'm going to interrupt you.
That's fine.
When I came back from the Army, I'm thinking this was 71 or 72, I ran into Terry, and we had gone to high school together, and I had been back in town 2 days. And I said, "Terry, I'm looking for a place to live." He said, "Well, hell, Charlie, come live with me."
Yeah.
And so I went and lived with Terry and two Army guys in apartments there. And there were 2 girls next door to us that were probably about the same age we were, but they were school teachers and older and mature. Let me say they weren't older, but they were more mature.
There you go.
They were more mature than us gearheads and racers.
Sure.
And so then when David Heath would come in on weekends, I introduced David Heath to one of those girls that lived next door to us, and that's who he married in 73.
That is cool.
But then in later years, after Billy retired, he came to me and said, Charlie, I'd like for you to build my engine. I'm going to get back into the vintage hydroplane racing. And so I built a blown Hemi for Billy, and he had the time of his life in 2003 and 2004 running the Miss Crazy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hydroplane. It was a Lauterbach hull, and we had a blown Chrysler Hemi in it. And unfortunately, then he crashed on the Ohio River driving another man's boat.
Yeah, a guy out of Tennessee or something
Right,
like that. Yeah.
Travis from Tennessee, and he died right in front of me. But
Well, Billy
broke
and
my heart.
Well, I actually got to meet those guys. We ran at over in Henderson at the horse deal, ran go-karts back year, and there I go with Terry and I go with our one go-kart apiece, and here come the Sterretts, and they got a stacker trailer with about 6 carts for those two guys, and they had of course Jim Hay. You remember Jim?
I certainly did.
He was there.
He was Terry and Billy's uncle.
Yeah, well, he
By
was
marriage.
there also mechanic, as far as those go-karts. And they would just spank us like a stepchild. I mean, they would beat us so bad. But I fell in there with them and became good buddies with them. And they just sort of put me under their wing a little bit, and helped me with the go-karts. And I don't know if you ever saw the 3-engine one. That thing they built this thing out of all the spare pieces. Excuse me. It had 3 820 West Bend engines, and there's some stories about that in our very first show that I'll give you a copy of before you leave. But we actually won top eliminator at Owensboro Drag Strip with that thing 3 weekends in a row.
Wow.
And they ran us off. And we were beating the gas cars and everything. And what you would do, the 2 outside motors had centrifugal clutches. And the center one, there was not enough room to get one in there, so you'd fire the outside ones and then rev it up, and it'd start the middle one. Mm-hmm. And you put it up on a block, and you just sit there with the RPMs up, and whoever kicked it off the block, that's when you left, no matter what. But I drove that thing 2 or 3 times, and that was the craziest thing I ever sat in, I think they used me as their guinea pig to see if it was going to tear up, they wanted me in it first, and then they'd do it,
Well, whatever they did in a wonderful way. They were mechanically inclined,
Oh, yeah.
and I know what you're talking about on the go-karts. And I remember actually when they raced Owensboro Soapbox Derbies.
Really?
So
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to Soapbox Derby days.
That goes back before me.
Well, we lived about 2 blocks apart. And so we were just good friends and all those years. And then, how things go around. And after Terry and I got out of the Army, he had already been, we wound up living together in an apartment. And,
Yeah.
But they did. The Sterrett family did large and wonderful things.
They were great
in
people.
Racing, whether it be go-kart racing or hydroplane, unlimited hydroplane racing, and all that sort of thing.
Well, they were wonderful people, and they sure were a big bright spot in this old fat guy's life. I mean, and a lot of people over there were really good to be. Army and I have been friends forever,
Right.
and
Well, I remember your 27T Roadster pickup truck.
oh yeah,
And I think it stayed over at Army's house for 2 or 3 weeks. Or
Well, he
maybe a
wasn't
month.
driving, so I just let him take it home with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, the 27T Bucket Roadster.
But we have told some stories on this. If you get time, you go on our archives and listen to some of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame shows. Because Army and I get on there and get to telling stories, and we run out of time, and he is a wonderful announcer, of course, for the TV and the monster trucks and now the sprint cars and everything that he does. He's
Right.
a dear friend. So you still hadn't got enough of drag racing yet?
Not enough. I'll tell you a funny, true story that Army and I went to Third Baptist Church together, and as teenage boys in 1963, I mean, we were ate up with cars.
Imagine that.
So we had gotten one copy of the brand new 1963 NHRA rule book. It was narrow. It fit in your back pocket.
I remember
and the
that.
cover of it
Sure.
was blue. And there we were sitting during worship service, and we were supposed to be singing, and there was a hymnal in front of us, but inside the hymnal was 1963 NHRA rule book.
Imagine that. I
And
wonder
we
how
were
many-
studying over it, and Army was wanting to build an Anglia gasser. And
Well, I
we
remember
were studying the rule book.
at one time he and Dr. Pearson were going to buy that old funny car from me, and they decided to go another route or something, and David sold it, and I sort of lost track until I heard from you again, as one of the deals. But
We all lost track of it, but
Yeah.
it found me from that coal miner in eastern Kentucky.
yeah, well, that's the way it found me too.
And
of course, it went on to bring a tub full of money.
right.
Later
But he
on
brought
and
it to
stuff.
Owensboro, Kentucky, and I had everybody come meet at the Executive Inn in Owensboro, Kentucky, to look at the car.
Yeah.
Fred Wilkerson, Larry Cameron came, Dester's dad,
Yeah.
and David's widow came, and she brought some pictures of it, and, and we had it out there in the parking lot. But that story about the welded block,
that's true.
the Hemi block,
That's true. Yeah,
that verified the original motor with Robert.
Well, I can tell you a lot more
Robert
stories.
Hodges was a coal miner in Campton, Kentucky, that found it,
Yeah.
and I went up to Campton, Kentucky, to his house and looked at the car there. He had some other collector cars.
Oh yeah,
also.
he's a nice guy, nice man. Yeah, he brought it to me, and I sat in that thing, and I said, "Boy, you went this fast in this piece of junk. Golly, how stupid were you back then?" You know, but didn't know any better, so it was okay.
I think we used he used a plastic kitchen chair for a bucket seat.
Oh yeah, it was a sled, buddy. I'm telling you, it was a sled, but
it was dangerous.
But it ran good. I mean, it was good and quick, and
well, David could have made anything run. David Heath could have made a Studebaker or a Hudson run.
I know, and we had a lot of fun times riding in the car, just talking to and from races. Because, see, when I bought it, the deal was, and this is a funny story, the deal was that David got to run it for everything they already had booked and make that money, you know. And I said, that's great because I'll learn, you know, at the same time. We went to, I guess it was Chandler or somewhere, and the guys that owned Wayne County Speed Shop back then had a car that we were running against, and they really got a rash. Of course, I'd been driving the car some, you know, I wouldn't,
right?
But David was booked in to do it over there, run those guys, and they came up and they were just really, really giving me a hard time. Yeah, young punk, 16-year-old kid with a funny car, got a hired driver, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And David just turned to him and said, "Well, why don't we put a little cash on it and you let the kid drive it?" They said, "Yeah, I'd like to see that." Well, I don't remember how much the bet was, but it was enough, you know, that David conjured it up, you know. And they put me in the car, and I mean, spanked them like a stepchild, you know. Old David got the cash. He took me to dinner that night, you know, but it was fun.
I think it was Mike Sullivan and
I believe it was the boys from Wayne County.
Yeah, and he was connected with. Wayne
they were not being really nice, but they got real nice real fast after that. So, but we had a lot of fun, you know. I mean, we had a lot of fun along with making some money, doing some serious running. And boy, I wouldn't trade a thing in my life for that. That was those times were so great, so good.
That's true. And I told Marvin a while ago from Quick Fuel, I said, you know, where would we rather be at our age today than right here at Beach Bend in Bowling Green, Kentucky?
Buddy. Nowhere in the world. Nowhere in the world.
Spivvy, it's good to see you.
My friend, thank you for taking a few minutes to be on Event Radio. It is not only a pleasure to have you on this show, but it's a pleasure to get to see you again after all these years. I don't think either one of us need to wait that long again. We might not be able to do that.
That's right.
But this has been a great, great deal. And I appreciate it more than you know.
Okay.
All right, guys. We're having an absolute blast at the Quick Fuel Nationals from Beach Bend Raceway Park. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys. We are back from the Quick Fuel Nationals at Beach Bend. And honest to goodness, I've got my buddy on here that I have tried to get on this show for over 2 years. He is not only a very, very good personal friend of mine, he is the CEO of Quick Fuel. He's the man that makes everything at Quick Fuel possible and turned it into the #1 carburetor company in the world. And I am honored to call this gentleman my friend, Mr. Marvin Benoit. How are you, my friend?
Just fine, Spiffy. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Boy, you out here just wearing them out in the forward, aren't you?
Well, I'm trying to, but I kind of couldn't get there the last time. I was 001 on the tree, but ran 10-10 to the guy's 10 flat with a 0. And he kind of, you know, I almost had a bad red light, and he almost had a bad end at the end of the track where he almost broke out. So
yeah, well, you know, hey, would you rather do that or be late?
I'd rather do that.
I figured you would. That's a drag racer coming out in you, buddy. You'd always rather do that than be late. Let me ask you something. The Ford is a new deal for you. You had the Camaro. You ran it for a little while. Of course, you ran the Roadster for a while and had a lot of success with the Roadster. And trying the Ford out, how much of a transition is that for you?
Well, basically, the Ford is it's based off a 427 side-oiler type motor, so it's got 2 carburetors on it. It's a nostalgia-style engine, but actually it's a 496-inch motor. and it's a whole lot different foot brake in a car than using a trans brake. So
I bet, yeah. And it's got to be a lot different seeing out and everything than it was with the Roadster. You were out there just in the elements with the Roadster.
Oh, yeah, the Roadster, you've got great visibility. It's a lot easier to see in the Roadster than it is in a door car.
Which one do you like the best? Which one does Marvin Benoit like the best?
Well, basically, my first love and always will be my Roadster. So
yeah, that's going to be it, huh?
Yep, that'll always be it. But I mean, I bought this car from Damian Karpinski, who's the vice president of finance, and he bought it from Kenton Leslie. So it's been a race car since 1966.
Well, I know. I remember when Damian had it, back years ago.
So,
What's new at Quick Fuel? You guys amaze everybody by number one. Now, guys, let me tell you a little something before he answers this question. Quick Fuel is the only carburetor manufacturer in the world that physically puts your carburetor on a motor and runs it before it gets put in the box, so you don't have to do anything but bolt it on there and go. And you do stuff so different, Marvin, than anybody else. That amazes me. You pull it off. Everybody else would try to. They can't do it, and you figure out how to do it. So you're a pretty smart cat, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm not that smart. But I mean,
well, yeah, you are.
But no, we actually test every carburetor that comes off the line, and then all of our larger carburetors, which we use in the more like Super Gas, Super Comp, Top Dragster, Top Sportsman type carburetors, we test all of those also. We have 2 test engines in the back of the building where we run these carburetors all the time. And
I've been there. I know. I've watched it.
And I mean, it's kind of amazing. But I mean, it's like we went from me pushing an engine out the back door of a building to now we got a test lab that does that, and we've gone from building a couple hundred carburetors a year to 40,000 carburetors a year now.
Well, I mean, just a little growth there,
just a little bit.
And but what's cool is that says that what you're building is good. It's working. People like it, and you're helping them, and it's got to grow. I mean, it can't help but grow.
Well, it's so gratifying to see people out here that race our products, and every employee that we've got is into the sport, and they love drag racing and they love all this stuff. So
don't you think a lot of it is that you get out here in the field with them instead of?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I used to be able to come out here a lot more than I do now, but I mean...
Well, you're busy, I understand, but...
But, I mean, it's sort of like, we enjoy racing, we enjoy doing this, and, I've always taken my money and put it right back into my race cars, so, I mean...
Have you ever made a pass in Angela's dragster?
No, I'm not allowed to.
Oh, she won't let you? Why not?
No. Why not? That's her car.
Okay.
So, like, nobody's ever made a pass in my Roadster either. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So, if she doesn't let you, you're not going to let her, right?
Well, I may let her run the Roadster now.
Them daughters can do that, too.
Yeah, I know.
They talk Dad into what they want.
Yeah, the granddaughter's 10 now, so she's already starting to pick through the damn stable and see what we're going to use.
Well, that's okay.
She says, I like the Mustang, Papa.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So.
Well, I can remember you seeing you cruising her in your Corvette everywhere.
Oh yeah, I'll say I'm not brand specific. I like every kind of brand there is. As long as it came out of Detroit, I'm a fan of it.
There you go. There you go. So anything new at Quick Fuel the world needs to know about?
Well, no. Basically, we keep developing, keep making everything better. The constant improvement is one of our goals and one of our mantras that we use in our company. And, we're working on 4 circuit carburetors for the better cars. We've had up to 4 Pro Stock cars at NHRA national events qualify with our carburetors on them. So it's been, we're getting there.
Hey, buddy, you've been there. You've been there. For a long time, it was the best kept secret in drag racing, and it's not a secret anymore, my friend.
Oh.
And that's why it goes to 40,000 from so many hundred. You're not a secret anymore. People know that if they want to step up, that's the easiest way for them to do it. Just call Quick Fuel, and you guys will help. And something I think is cool? Everybody that mans your phones, and I know them, is the reason I can say this. They're all racers. When you talk to them and you ask them, they know what you're talking about.
Right. In fact, I had a guy come up to me last night telling me how great our customer service is.
Yep.
And, in fact, the guy was having a little problem out here. We went over to his car yesterday or the day before and put some squirters in the car. And, the car left, went faster than it's ever gone. He says, I can't believe, that, you guys will actually help after the sale. Well, that's what we do.
I've told this story because I watched it a couple of times, and I was sitting talking to Angela, and a guy came up to the trailer, and he had a problem with the carburetor. Well, my interview just went south for the winter, while her and their old brother went to
Jacques, yeah.
Their Jacques went to fix this man's carburetor, and they actually redid it. And he said, well, what do I owe you? And they said, absolutely nothing. You already paid for it, you know. And when you take the time to take care of your customers that way, buddy, that's just not done anymore, except anywhere at Quick Fuel. So it's cool. Now it's cool.
I appreciate that. And every one of the guys in the sales office, and they're actually more than just sales guys. They're actually tech guys. They race. They live, breathe this stuff. I mean, so they're into it. So I mean, they love it. Just
I'm into boat racing. Zach's over there tuning a boat. You know.
Oh yeah.
And so you guys touch everything that's got performance, and that's cool. I mean, I think that's really neat.
Yeah, most anything that's got a V8 in it, we'll work on.
There you go. Well, listen, my friend, I don't want to wear my welcome out. I know it's only been 2 years, and I got you slowed down for a whopping about 6 or 7 minutes, and which is a major undertaking. I can get an appointment with the Pope probably easier than you.
Nah.
Oh, yeah. I know. I've been trying. But anyway, thank you so much for lots of stuff. Thank you for making all the racers go fast, because they're happy. They're putting on a better show for the people because of what you guys do every day of the week. Thank you for being a sponsor of Event Radio ever since we started, when we weren't doing you any good, and now, of course, we are, because we reach a lot of folks now. But more important than all of that, thank you for being a friend for so many years.
No problem, Spivvy. I mean, you know, it's a necessary thing that you have to have people that can talk the business that we do, and if it wasn't for people like you that could convey what we do and how we do it, we wouldn't have any fun out here either.
Well, buddy, I'm telling you, it's very easy for me to do, because I have seen it. I have watched it with my own eyes. I got to sneak through the factory and see how everything's done. And, guys, trust me, most factories you go in, people are hating to be there. That's not the case at Quick Fuel. Everybody's loving their job. You know, they're having fun. They're smiling, even down to Shaky on the forklift. I mean, he's having a blast, got decals on the forklift, race stuff. And it's a fun environment, which in turn makes a good product, which in turn makes the customer happy.
Right, and remember, a company is nothing more than the employees that you have in it.
That's right, that's right. But guys, I'm going to cut my good buddy loose, Mr. Marvin Benoit, the CEO of Quick Fuel, the guy that is the reason this race is going on today, the reason that we're here covering it. We are just having an absolute blast. Marvin, thank you so much for being on Event Radio. After I say it, it's only taken 2 years, and I appreciate it. You know, another 2 years, maybe we'll dream up something else to say. But, you know, I appreciate more than you taking the time to be with us. Guys, we are at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals at Beach Bend Raceway in Bowling Green, Kentucky. You are on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We will shoot you when we come back. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals. And I stop and look at a car because one of our sponsors also has a CoPro Camaro he has, as a matter of fact, the only white 4-speed one that they ever made, Mr. Dennis Ingram at Final Finish. Glenn, tell us a little about the CoPro, buddy.
Well, I actually have 3 Copos. The one you're looking at right now is a gray CRC car, a complete rolling chassis car. So what that means is it's built with the Copos, but it comes with absolutely no engine or transmission in it.
Oh, so you get to play there, yeah.
You get to play and pick what class you want to run the car in and build it. So we built this car over the winter, and it's a stock class. It's the new Chevrolet Performance stock class. It's a 525 horsepower crate engine with a crate computer, so you really can't play much with the engine or the tune-up on it. The rest of it's weight and tire and making the chassis work.
Yeah, but it lives forever. See, that's the cool part.
It's a cost-effective way to go heads-up racing.
Yeah, boy,
yes,
I tell you what, you don't worry about nicking any pistons. You don't worry about doing any of that fun stuff, and you get to go out and play, and you're always ready for the next round.
Yeah, we used to race Outlaw 10.5, so we've played those games before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I've got a good buddy by the name of Joel Greathouse that ran that. You probably know him. We've been doing this a long time, too, so, you know, it's fun. The CoPro cars, the ones that come off the assembly line, how quick are those cars really? I know what they advertise, but how fast is it?
Well, it depends what package you're looking at. I actually own two of them. I own a 2013, which is a 427 normally aspirated 4-speed car.
Uh-huh.
We've had that car as fast as 960 at legal A-stock weight.
Okay.
And then we have a 2014 supercharged 350 car, and we've been into the 8s with that. We've run the 890s with it, and really haven't done anything to it other than put ice in the intercooler.
That's stroking. That's
pretty
a good quick ride.
Pretty strong for a factory car. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, how quick is this car?
This car, the best we've run is a 1049 down in Atlanta 3 weeks ago, and so far here we've gone a 1055. Air's not quite as good.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's bad enough that the birds can't fly here. So, there's not much to breathe here.
Little bit of humidity right now.
Yeah,
also.
just a touch, considering it's dripping off this golf cart. But we're having fun, that's all that matters. You like Beach Bend?
Love it. First time we've been here. Love this track.
Oh,
it's really
buddy,
nice.
this is how many racetracks you been to with covered grandstands
First time for me. First
or
time
air
ever.
conditioned bathrooms?
That's right.
Yeah, that's what's really cool. You come to Hot Rod Reunion and go in there when it's 100 with the humidity so bad as it is along this river, and trust me, buddy, you learn to appreciate the bathrooms. May be the most popular place here.
I bet you're right.
It is. I'm telling you.
I tell you, it's an old school track, but it hooks really well. We've set our best 60-foot times ever here. We're having a great time.
You may not be aware, but this is the very first drag strip that was built this side of the Mississippi River. All the rest of them, it was built in 1949, and all the rest of them were built out on the pond side, the West Coast side. And this is the very first one on this end of the country. And it's been rocking ever since.
We've been doing a little research, just, sitting in the toter home at night. Yesterday, obviously, we got rained out, and we just did a little research on the history here and saw a flood back in 2010 that...
it was up almost to the top windows of the tower, but wow. if you look straight ahead of where you're parked, that's the river over there.
Right, that's right.
Now I'll tell you a cute story. The guy that used to own this place, Mr. Charles Garvin, the guy that actually built the drag strip, okay, he had a zoo, and with the river you could go to another little street in this city and you could swim the river and get in these events free. They would never catch you because the river completely bounds all of the drag strip.
Right, yeah.
Well, you had one of those little floods like you're talking about, and the rumor was that a couple of the alligators got out and got in the river and found it to be home. The people quit sneaking in.
There you go.
And I don't know if they ever did or not.
I'm pretty sure that's a well-placed rumor on his part.
But it probably worked, But this place, in its heyday, I guess that I'm an old guy, and I ran a lot here back in the 70s. And matter of fact, I could take you and show you the old drag strip before this one was built, and I have run a funny car on it where you could almost reach out the windows and touch hands. So it's been around a while, but it's fun. It's fun.
We're having a great weekend.
Buddy, listen, we appreciate you coming to Bowling Green. We appreciate you coming to Beach Bend. We appreciate you making it the Quick Fuel race because they are one of our sponsors. Marvin and the guys are wonderful people, and we hope you enjoy being here as much as we enjoy having you.
Yeah, let's hope this little pop-up storm passes. We drive the track and get it done today.
Oh, this is liquid sunshine compared to yesterday.
You're right. You are
all right. Pushins, is that the way I pronounce your last name?
Pushes.
Pushes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm better than... Yeah, I'm Southern. I can do that. I can, I know what sweet tea and country ham are. So, know.
If you look at me, I'm a scratch eater. You can tell.
Yeah, buddy, I tell you what. If they have a class for sport eating, me and you'll get the gold, right?
Built for comfort, not for speed.
There you go. Guys, Mr. Glenn Pushings joined us on Event Radio. We had a lot of fun sitting in the rain, waiting for the rain to stop. You are on Event Radio from the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals, and we run up on, leave it to the old fat guy here to run up on all the pretty girls that are drivers of the hot rods. What is your name, ma'am?
Jennifer Brooke Rice.
Jennifer, where are you from, dear?
Springfield, Tennessee.
Well, that's just down the road.
Yeah.
That ain't far. Springfield, Tennessee. Yeah. Wow. I tell you what.
This is my home track, so.
Well, that's good. You picked a good one. Beach Bend is as good as it gets. Yeah. And I bet you I can tell you some history about Beach Bend, even with this being your home track. You may not know.
Probably not.
Do you know that this is the very first drag strip that was ever built this side of the Mississippi River?
No.
Ah, see, the old fat guys can get you right there. So, tell me a little about your hot rod.
I have an 09 Ford Mustang that has a small block 400 Ford.
Okay.
That's powered with a 400 shot of nitrous.
Cool. How quick is it?
My fastest pass has been a 754 at 169.
I thought it was just a little quick from looking at it. I'm old, but I know a little about drag racing, just a touch. How long have you been driving a car?
I have been racing. This car is my first year, but I also had a 95 Mustang that I ran for 3 years.
Okay.
And I also started off in junior dragsters when I was 10 years old.
I figured the juniors got you started, and that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about, because a lot of the kids do the progression that you do.
Right.
I'm good friends with Mia Tedesco.
Okay.
And Mia started out in a junior dragster, and boy, she's gonna.
Yeah,
she stepped up quite a bit.
She did.
But how much do you think the junior helped you?
It helped me a little bit as a driver, but I think once I got into the big car, that's when it helped me more.
But don't you think it taught you fundamentals of what you were doing in the junior more?
Yeah, definitely.
Other than getting in the big car, and the difference I would think is the big car you got to concentrate on driving.
Right.
The junior you concentrate on learning what you're doing.
Exactly.
And of course you have mastered both the way it appears.
Yes.
so that's good.
I mean, I've had plenty of seat time for me to be in this car.
And you don't look old enough to have done that.
I'm 18.
I was. See, when you get my age, you're not supposed to ask a lady her age. You're supposed to be smart enough not to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm dumb anyway, so that's okay. Springfield, Tennessee. Boy, I tell you what, guys, I not only pick them, but I pick the good-looking Southern girls to boot. There ain't no doubt about it. So where are you going to run other than here?
We have 3 more races. We have Indianapolis,
Okay.
and which is in next month in June.
Okay.
And then we have July, which is going to be Route 66, which is the Super Bowl for NMR and NMCA.
Right.
And then we have our finals, which is at Norwalk, Ohio.
Cool. Well, I hope you do really well.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I'm
you
hoping for a championship, but the way things are looking,
well,
we're just trying to get up there in points.
Well, you'll do fine. You'll do great. You've got enough seat time. And from the looks of the car, of course, guys, it did rain. I can't get pictures of that one, but I
we can get
feel
them in the trailer.
Well, I might. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll get one at least where you can see what we're talking about. But this is not your average everyday hot rod that this little lady drives.
Oh no,
they run quite well. Yeah. Any aspirations to maybe do a pro stock car later or something?
That's the plan. I would love to go pro stock racing or maybe pro mod, which, I mean, I already have a pro mod pretty much, and I already have a motor. We also have a 521 cubic inch Brad Anderson Hemi that we might end up running next year in Radio
Brad.
Wars.
I know Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With powered with turbos.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we might end up switching classes next year.
With turbocharged?
Yes.
Jeez.
And I also have a Liberty Quick Drive.
Okay, I know what that is. See, you haven't lost me yet. I've hung in there with you so far. I haven't seen a Brad turbocharged Hemi car. I don't think. The best of my. Maybe I have and don't realize it. I just don't remember.
There's quite a few Hemis, but I don't know if they're Brad Anderson.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, you got.
I mean, a lot of people are pro line.
Yeah, but Brad is about as good on a Chrysler Hemi motor as any, I guess you would call, competitive builder out there that builds other people's stuff.
We also have the John Medlin heads on it too.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's a hot rod now.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna. I'm sure the present car sets you back in the seat, but that one will nail you back in the seat.
And, well, with the nitrous car, it's going to be all in the line. With the turbo car, it's going to be half down track because when all the power comes in.
I've watched some of those, and they're actually raising the wheels up at midway through there. That's a little scary.
Yeah, if you've seen about the Lights Out race, the last one, Dwayne Mills his car actually took off like a rocket ship down track and then went over the track.
Yeah,
so.
I understand. Boy, I tell you what, this is cool. And I'm so glad that I got to stop and talk to you, and we're going to step in the trailer and take a picture of the car too.
Okay.
But maybe we'll get you in the winner's circle at one of these things. And
I'm waiting on it.
Yeah.
This race actually was my first round win in Nitrous Pro Street.
Really?
Yep. Finally got it. I ran last
Well, see,
year.
you can't be the bridesmaid anymore. You've already got there and you've done it.
Yeah.
Now all you do just keep on racking them back. The same thing. Well, listen, lady, thank you for taking a couple of minutes to be on Event Radio. It's raining. What else does the old fat guy do but get to sit in a golf cart with a pretty girl and talk drag racing, That's always the fun thing. But we're at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals Beach Bend Raceway. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals, Beach Bend Raceway Park, and probably are going to give you a little prelude to the most important guest that we will have on this show. I realize that you've heard Marvin, and he's our sponsor, and he is very important to us. But the little lady that we're going to introduce you to in a couple of minutes is just an awesome young lady. She also supports juvenile diabetes, which is one of our main charity functions that Advent Radio does. We try to do everything for the Cruising for a Cure, but we now have found out a young lady by the name of Emily that has a thing called Racing for a Cure, and boy, that's right down our alley because we're race car guys. We bleed race cars. And I've got Mom on here mainly to explain just a little bit about what's going on, and then we're gonna get the star on here, Miss Emily. But Brenda, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Tell
doing
everybody
today?
who you are first.
Well, my name is Brenda Hurt. I am Emily's mom.
That's your claim to fame.
It is, and I'm
Yeah.
also the crew chief.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
how
right.
many, some
Yeah,
we're the
well,
special women.
behind the scenes, doing good, right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
All
That's right.
Tell us a little about Emily, please.
Okay, Emily is now 10 years old. She was born December 30th, and at 5, September the 3rd, 2010, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And a lot of people don't understand the version of type 1 diabetes. They get it confused with type 2. Just a short, brief description of type 1, the best way to describe it is your pancreas completely stops producing insulin. So you have to have artificial insulin, either through injections or an insulin pump, which Emily is on.
Exactly. And to put a 10-year-old girl on one of those is sinful. I
Yes.
mean, number one, she has to, any kind of carb she eats, she's got to prick her finger and see what it is. She does a lot. We know a lot about it through Miss Diane and
Yes.
Anna. We have had her on here a lot.
Wonderful people.
Yeah, they're great. And we know a lot about it, but Emily's taken it a step farther. She's gone to the race community. And, guys, if you've listened to any of our shows, we'll flat-footed stand there and tell you that we believe racers can do anything on the
Amen.
planet. It makes no difference what it is.
That's
they can.
right.
Some of the very few guys that can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, I guess. But no, just kidding. We believe racers put together can do anything that they set their mind to do. And Emily's going about it the right way to get them to join together and find a cure or support
Yes.
the effort
Yes.
for a cure. Is
Yes.
that pretty close?
It's supporting the help of finding a cure because our motto is together we will find a cure.
Of course.
And these racers have the biggest hearts that we have ever come across in our life.
Well, they believe in helping each other, Gal.
They do. They do.
It's, we've said a lot of times on this show that at the starting line they hate each other.
That's right.
Right after the finish line, they love each other.
That's right.
You know?
That's
and,
right.
And all the rest of the time, the only time they really hate each other is 1,320 feet of this whole place. But they will do anything for each other. They will loan each other. They will even take their own stuff apart to give their competition, and which might beat them. And,
Yes. And I've witnessed that, and then put
honey,
it
I've
back
done
on their
that.
car.
I have done that.
Yeah.
So I know.
Well, Emily loves drag racing.
Well, that's cool.
It has been up her alley, and we go to a lot of walks. Her dad works at Ford Motor Company in Louisville, so Ford is huge with JDRF.
Yeah, they're giving a Mustang. You can
Yes.
buy tickets on the 2016 Mustang.
$10.
$10, yeah, and you win. That's cool. Win
Yes.
one of those.
And Emily's thought was, hey, Dad, let's just take your 89 Mustang GT that we play around here at the house with. Let's take it to the drag strip and raise some money.
Yeah, all right.
So-
I'm sure Dad, it took a lot of twisting his arm to get that done.
Yeah. No.
Okay, all right.
That was Dad's 40th birthday present last year.
That's a good one.
And Emily decided to change it into it. Emily would love to have a junior dragster herself and
Well,
run
I
Emily's
tell you
race
what.
for a
Now,
cure.
I tell you what. We reach a lot of people, guys, and you're going to get to on this show. You're going to get to meet this little lady, and especially if you're a junior dragster chassis builder out there, you might want to consider if you want a lot of people looking at your car. You might want to consider furnishing one for this little lady because she's going to put you in front. I won't say she'll put you in front of more people than John Force, but there's a lot of more people that will listen to her than they do John when he gets on one of his rants. So, it's going to put you out there in front of a lot of people and a lot of young people that
Yes.
when it comes time for Mom and Dad to buy one, she might just be able to influence that just a little bit. So
Yes.
maybe in the works. We don't want to put any heat on you, but we would like for you to buy her one. Otherwise, we'll talk ugly about you on the radio.
Yeah.
So
We've
whatever.
got. I've worked pretty hard at the backside of this, and we've came up with about 21 sponsors ourselves for
That
our
you've already
car.
got, right?
Yes, we have. To name some, we've got Strange Engineering, we have Stiflers, we have Painless, we have QA1, we have Aeromotive, MSD, Mickey Thompson, Moroso, Race Pack. I mean. And
Sort of
I
the
know,
who's who of drag racing.
Yeah, and I mean, they have aerospace components. We met Kim Cussy and Joliet, and they have all opened their heart, and they have all told me, we want to be a part of this, Mom. We don't want to just sit by and watch you go down the track. We want to be a part of this for Emily.
Yeah.
And they all jumped on board.
Well, then you can get into people like Trailer World to furnish a trailer. You can get into a lot of people
That would be a blessing.
Richard's a nice guy. Richard Feldman owns Trailer World. He's a personal buddy of mine. He's a tightwad, but still, we might be able to get him talked into it. Maybe a lease for $1 a year or something.
Yeah.
You never know. But anyway, we
Now-
want to thank you for sort of the prelude to talking to this little lady, because she is an up and coming superstar. She has already won the biggest race there is by
Yes.
making aware everybody of the juvenile diabetes and helping kids all over the country. And guys, some of the who's who that are racers, if you will look at their cars, you will see Emily's Race for a Cure decals. It's a ribbon. And from Donnie Bowles to Susan McClenathan to everybody on down the road, and including a couple of the people that we have had on this show already,
Yes.
they support Emily's cause. And,
I let Emily be a part of designing that. She used the gray and red
She did
colors
good.
for diabetes.
yeah, and she autographed the one on the golf cart.
Yes.
So, guys, everywhere we go, which is a lot of places that haven't put us in jail yet. So, we go to a lot of places, and you'll be able to see it and find out what a little more about it. And you, of course, can ask us at Event Radio, and we'll clue you in on a little bit more of the juvenile diabetes stuff.
And she is on Facebook.
Okay,
And
all
if
right.
they would like to purchase a ribbon, that money goes to her camp here June the 28th through July 3rd to help pay for children's camp fees that the parents can't afford. That's where we put that money.
That's great. That's great.
And they're $10 for a small one and $20 for a large one. And they're more than welcome to get on our Facebook page and look us up, and we'd more than be happy to get some out.
Well,
we
that's
got
wonderful.
T-shirts in the works.
That's good. Well, we'll get those. You'll have to call Omar the tent maker and get me one. How about that? Anyway, Mom, we're going to let you go, and we're going to
Sounds
get the
good.
lady herself on here and talk to her just a little bit. She is an absolute doll baby, and we are looking so forward to it. But right now, we got to say hello to a sponsor and pay for a little of this. We are at Beach Bend Raceway Park at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Muscle Car Nationals, Beach Bend Raceway Park, quick fuel event that we are loving being here. And we just happen to have the prettiest girl in the place to join. Boy, you make me look good in this golf cart, girl. You know that? I have Miss Emily in here of Emily's Racing for a Cure. How are you, sweetheart?
Good.
You said you were nervous to be on here?
Yes.
Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
What? How many boyfriends you got?
0.
You don't have one? Can't find one that's worthy, or what? You hadn't found one that's got a race car. Is that it? Got to have a race car?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That way, you can boot them out, keep the car. Good deal. How much trouble is it to you to have the diabetes? Hard question, huh?
Kind of.
Well, and I don't mean you're a young lady at 10. You need to be out romping and roaring and doing everything you do, but yet you got a little bit of an anchor that's holding you back a little bit, and that's the insulin pump and having to check your sugar and all that stuff. That's got to be a hassle, is it?
It is.
But you sort of live with it, huh?
Yes.
Let me ask you something. If your effort, the thing you're doing, and I think it is so wonderful because you're taking your efforts, being a pretty girl don't hurt, and you're working with the racers and stuff to help maybe find a cure for that, to where other little kids out there don't have to do what you did. That's a pretty noble cause, young lady, for a 10-year-old.
Thank you.
I mean, we're going to put a ribbon on the golf cart, and we're going to run around with it proudly on there. and we're going to see some manufacturers and stuff. Mom says you want to be in a junior dragster. Is that right?
I'd rather have a junior drag bike.
A junior drag bike? Why?
Because my mom says that in a junior dragster you're squished and you can't move.
Nah, not really. They're fun. They're fun. They're fun. Now, my other half of this show, which is not here, he would be with you on the bike because he is a professional speedway motorcycle racer. But I'm an old drag race guy. Now, I like the junior dragster. And let me tell you why. We just talked to a little gal that drives an orange Mustang that I believe got your ribbon on it. And she started out with junior dragsters. And she told us how much it helped her to progress on down the road. The bike is not going to help you. As much as I hate to say that, if you go on racing drag bikes, it will. But to transition into the car, it's going to make it harder. So you might ought to think about do the junior dragster first. Then if you want to double off with the bike, that's okay.
My mom says that I could have two, like try out one of them, and then the next time try out a different one.
Well, I'm cool with that. I think that'll be all right. What's your favorite kind of race car?
A Shelby.
You like the Shelby Mustangs? Well, that'll work. You got some decals on some pretty famous ones.
Thank you.
You know, Donnie Bowles' car. I saw some pictures with it on there. He's a nice guy. You know, that makes me feel really old because I knew Donnie when he was your age. Ooh, what about that? You're giving me a funny look. Okay, all right, that's okay. Oh, he's a nice young man. He's really nice. I know his dad. I used to race with his dad. And they're nice people.
They are.
Let me ask you, have you got some fundraisers being in the works or anything for people to come do?
Yes.
Well, tell me about them. Mom's cluing you in here.
Texas Roadhouse in Louisville.
Oh, yeah. Boy, I like that. You know, we've decided, Terry and I have decided on this show that the Olympics should get a division called sport eating. And if they would do that, we could enter, and we'd go to Texas Roadhouse to practice. Would that be cool?
Cool.
All right. Yeah, I thought it might be. Listen, lady, my hat's off to you, number one, for doing what you do, for getting involved, and mainly for helping other people at 10 years old. You know, that not many kids even think about that, you know, and you do. I think that's cool.
Thank you.
Tell her what, Mom? She don't let her hold it back. Well, I understand that. And little Anna, which we have had too, she doesn't let it hold her back. She plays softball. She's a cheerleader. She's all that stuff. And guys, anytime you get out of bed, and let me tell you something. You get out of bed in the morning and you think you feel bad and, oh, you got to do this before you go to work, or you got to this. You just stop and think a minute what this little lady has to do before she goes to school or whatever. And number one, most of you big, burly, bad guys are scared to death of needles anyway. And if you had to poke your finger as many times as she does, you'd pass out to start with. And I think you're a cool little gal.
Thank you.
I think you're really neat. And you know, we wanted to come get you and say hi to you. Now, let's let little sister say hi. What's your name, baby doll?
Haley, and I help my sister do anything she wants. If she wants, like, something for a birthday, I would get it for her. But if I had the money, I would buy it, but I don't, so Mommy and Daddy have to buy it.
Well, yeah, but see, both of you can team up and sweet talk Mom and Dad. Two pretty girls is always, Dad especially, it's really hard for Dad to say no to daughters, you know. I got one.
Sometimes they say no.
Yeah, well, sometimes they have to.
Sometimes you don't get your way.
Well, that's okay, honey. Sometimes.
Well, the dogs, like they're really, like, special to me because Emily and me are dog lovers, and we love dogs, but I love cats and dogs. Emily just likes dogs.
Okay, well, that's pretty important, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get the Humane Society as a sponsor. What do you think?
Yeah, that would work.
Do you ever go just walk dogs for them at the Humane Society or anything?
I walk my dog named Freddie, and he's really special to me.
Well, I tell you what.
Because we got him from a dog shelter, and when we saw him, Daddy said we won't get another dog, but we we got Freddy's.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. Pretty girls can sweet talk daddy into anything. I know I am one, and my daughter can say I want, and I just melt, and she's been doing it for 30-some years. So, that's just part of it, girls. Listen, thank you so much for taking – first off, let me thank you for a couple of things. Let me thank you, number one, for the effort that you're doing to help bring awareness to juvenile diabetes, to help get a lot of people involved. There's strength in numbers. And when you get a lot of people involved going in the same direction, pulling in the same direction, it sort of rolls and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you get to where the end comes up pretty quick that way. The bigger the roll, the faster the mile. And so you get people all pulling in the same direction to find a cure for this dreaded disease. And it'll be available quicker than you think. And you can take that old insulin pump and throw it out in the river somewhere, That's cool, huh? But I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you, both of you, for being just doll babies, for being sweethearts, and for talking to folks and telling them what they need to know, Not necessarily what they want to know, but what they need to know. And that's important. You're doing stuff that normal young ladies wouldn't even get close to doing. And I think you've gained respect from a lot of folks because of it. I'm going to vote for the junior dragster. Can't help it.
I'm a Go fan.
Huh?
I'm a Go fan.
Oh, okay. All right. But anyway, thank you all for taking the time to be on Event Radio. Thank you for making
welcome.
the juvenile diabetes an awareness thing. And all the racers, the more you go ask, the more they'll get behind you, because racers are good people. They do good things. And, and their family. It's all family. And you got a great big family you didn't even know. Make sure you send them all a Christmas card and tell them to send you something cool. I understand. Miss Emily, thank you. We appreciate it. Guys, you are on Event Radio. We are just having too much fun at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals. We're waiting for the liquid sunshine to dry up. And as soon as it does, there's no telling what else we'll get back into. But
thank you for letting me be on the show.
Hey, sweetheart, you've improved my image 1,000,000 times with a pretty girl in a golf cart with me. I like it, okay?
Thank you.
All righty. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back from the Quick Fuel Motorsports Nationals at Beach Bend Raceway. And leave it to the old fat guy to find the number one guy with a Corvette here. Tell everybody who you are, sir.
My name's Keith Berry out of Gainesville, Georgia, and we're last year's Radio Wars NMCA champion, and we're back here to defend the title.
Hey, well, that and brought a sure enough hot rod Corvette to do it, and that's, you know what, I can't help it. When I was a kid, and I've had a bunch of Corvettes, but when I was a kid, matter of fact, I held the A Sport national record, NHRA national record in 1966. And I'm the guy that drew Bruce Larson in the Cobra first round at Indy. So, bad day. But anyway, I love it when performance Corvettes, because that's what they're supposed to be. You got too many show and shine guys. You know where I'm coming from?
I do. I'm a lot of the traditionalist Corvette guys, if you will. They either love my deal or they hate it.
Well, a lot of them. There's an old thing, I think it's going around on the computer. It says this is, and it's a bunch of pictures, and it shows like maybe a car like yours doing wheels up deal, and said this is what I tell people I do. But at the bottom, it shows a guy with a can of wax and said this is what I really do. One of those deals. Right. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So he's from Gainesville, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Gainesville.
I like
Georgia.
Gainesville, Georgia. Matter of fact, I used to have about half had the suites on a little gal in Gainesville, Georgia. I flew down there for her high school graduation, even.
Well, Gainesville, it's wall to wall cuties.
Hey,
Wall to
buddy,
wall.
I'm telling you, it's a cool place. It's a cool place. I really like it, and it. Now I know somebody there that I can call and get out of jail, right?
Just holler.
Okay,
we'll do
that's
the good
good.
old boy system.
There you go. Yeah, well, see, you're far enough south, you still know what sweet tea is at Country Ham.
That's a fact.
We do a lot. I get nervous if I interview anybody north of the Ohio River, because they don't know what that is, And but
Well, my wife's north of the Ohio River. It's where she's from. But
you had to educate her.
We converted her.
Yeah, you had to educate her. Yeah, I get nervous about 20 miles north of here. I start getting nervous, But anywhere in the south, buddy, we're cool. We're ready to go. How long you been drag racing, my friend?
Actually, not very long. May 9th of 2008 is the first time I ever even seen a drag strip.
What in the world got you turned on to that?
My brother was into it, and the TV show Pink's All Out came to Atlanta Dragway, which is
okay.
about 30, 40 minutes from us, and I went there. As a matter of fact, in that car, it was this street car with heads and cams, and did horrible. I went from first gear down to third, missed second, tried to go back to second and ground gears, and slung it up, I think, in filth, and made an idiot out of myself. But I was
Well,
hooked.
that's all right. Hey, just if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. Do it in front of 10 million people,
That's a
you know.
fact.
I mean, if you're going to do it. That way you get that out of the way. you
Jump
see.
all in.
Yeah,
all in,
you get
yeah.
that. Well, see, it didn't hurt you any to win a national championship after that. It taught you what not to do.
That's very true.
See?
So yeah, we've come a long way. Very
Well,
proud.
I tell you what, I love watching the class car that you have, because that's a hot rod to me. You know, I'm an old funny car guy, so I like the cars that go fast. You know, but I mean, it's a thrill. You know, it's cool to watch.
It is. It's a lot of fun to smash the loud pedal and pull about 3.2 Gs and do what we do, especially on a radial tire. It's a lot of fun.
I don't understand that, but that's okay. And I admit to being that stupid that I do not understand it. A good friend of mine that used to do that, the 10-inch tire deal a couple of years ago, Joel Greathouse,
Yeah.
is a good buddy of mine, and I could never understand that running that fast. How quick is your car?
The fastest we've been and we run 8th mile.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
we've been 397 at 193 to the 8th.
Yeah. You know, my old funny car didn't run much faster than that.
It's
You know, and so, but it's been a long time. You know, I'm an old guy, but that's flying now. There's no doubt that is flat flying.
it's amazing when you look back and I've tried to study the history of it. But when you look back in the progression now, it's so much faster. Our class picked up 2/10 last year.
Yeah, well, I'm a lot older than you. I can remember watching a fuel dragster, the first one into threes in an 8th mile.
Yeah.
You know, and they had really accomplished something to do that. You know.
Yeah.
And boy, you guys have taken it so much farther. It's got to be a turbocharged car.
It is. It's a Proline race engine out of they're in Ball Ground, Georgia now. Twin turbo, LS platform, 454 cubic inch small block. We hold all the LS records that I know of in the world, and so yeah, it's a great car. I mean, it's still, you know, it's there's a lot of factory stuff on it, and it's obviously not a factory block. It's a
Well,
billet
of course
block,
not.
but
Do
we're still
you-
LS platform.
Do you come to the LS Fest here?
I used to. As a matter of fact, the first time I've ever came here was at the LS Fest, and won that event, and that was, I don't know, about 3-4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Well, I got amazed. We came. We didn't do it this year, but the year before last, we did Hot Rod Drag Week. And
Yeah, that's
boy, you talk about amazed. Those guys driving those cars and running 214, 215.
Yep.
I just freaked out. I didn't know what to think. you
Larry
know?
Larson and his truck, he's actually, a lot of his sponsors are the same as mine. We're kind of from the same group or family, racing family, if you will, so to speak. You know, tied in with Proline and Fuel Tech and Pro Torque and Precision Turbo, all the same people, tuners and whatnot. And yeah, he's got a bad ride. That's very cool.
Buddy, I tell you what, that's you watch that, and then they change the rear end gear and hook a trailer to it and drive it 250 miles. You know, I'm sitting there going, where did I grow up? You know,
It's a totally different animal.
Oh, yeah.
The way they switch it over from street to drag strip is.
well, buddy,
it's
I tell
amazing
you
in
what,
itself.
you know what I wish you could do, and I have one that I love Corvettes. Okay,
Yes.
I always have, but I don't really like Corvette racing because they have an attitude. I would love to get one of those guys in the side of your car some way, somehow, and show him what a fast race car is.
Yeah, they're more than welcome to come out. We're not hard to find.
Yeah.
We're Southern boys, so we're pretty nice to get along with.
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand. You know, out of everybody that we have done radio with, and we have been doing it for, gosh, well, I've been doing it. This is the 14th year.
Nice.
Everybody's been great.
Good.
Except Corvette Racing, and we went to them and gave them a card, and they said, we don't do interviews with people like you. Well, I had just talked to Don Gartlitz. I had just had the guy that sat on the front row that builds all the motors for Menard and Andretti, had sat on the front row for 4 times. And I thought, guys, maybe you're better than they are. I don't know.
if you think you're too good to talk to somebody, then you're probably not worth talking to yourself.
Well, that's sort of the way we looked at it, and I'll probably get in trouble for telling you this, but we have figured out on the new Motorsports Park why they built it the way they did. And the Motorsports Park here, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a $26 million racetrack that's across from the Corvette Museum, and it's a road course, of course. They built every European corner in that track to scale of all the tracks in Europe. Well, which is cool. I mean, for the driving deal, that's really a neat deal because you could go to every good track, Le Mans and all of them, right here.
That is nice.
But we also figured out that the boys at Corvette Racing haven't won a race in this country in 7 years, and they win them all in Europe. So it's sort of win on Sunday, sell on Monday, And so maybe they got a shot of winning a race here now that they have a track custom built to their liking.
Well, maybe so. I guess.
Maybe they'll build a drag strip just for you. You think?
You don't have to build one for me. Just let me come race with you.
Yeah, there you go. I love this guy. He said, "Hey man, just give me a place to race. Here I go. Watch me."
That's it.
Listen, my friend, thank you so
very
much for taking a few minutes to be on Event Radio. We appreciate it. This little show goes everywhere, and it has been our pleasure to have a guy like you on here. We're a fan.
Thank you.
And now we're more of a fan that we've got to talk to you.
Well, we appreciate it, and thank you for having us on.
Well, be careful going to my favorite city, Gainesville, Georgia.
There you go.
It's great. I love it down there. Nice folks, guys. We're on Event Radio, guys. We are at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals, Beach Bend Raceway. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, guys, what a great day at the Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals from Beach Bend. Boy, is that fun or what? We have had some really cool guests on to go a little back in time with me in the beginning and come all the way through with our buddy Marvin, the CEO of Quick Fuel, the absolute best carburetor company on the planet, taking his time to be on this show. The guy with the ultra-fast Corvette that has won more races than the law allows. And needless to say, Miss Emily, the little courageous 10-year-old gal that's fighting juvenile diabetes every day of her life. How much, it's just awesome. That's all you can say. It's just awesome. We've had a great day. My buddy T is getting tuned up, and he will be back real soon to join us as soon as he gets on the men level. But we miss him a bunch, and we'll be glad when he joins us back at the events. As we always do, we never close a show without thanking our sponsors, the great guys at Beach Bend Park and Splash Lagoon. We couldn't do shows without the racetrack and all the events they have there, and they are just so good to us. It is unreal. We love them to death. The ultimate carburetor people in all the world, Quick Fuel Technologies, Marvin and all the guys, everybody there is so knowledgeable and so good at what they do. It is just unbelievable, and we are honored to have them as one of our show sponsors. The great guys at Final Finish, if you go to any of the car shows and you see some of their handiwork, either on Earl's 55 or Mike Manship's 409 or several of them that are at the shows, it's not bad when you do a car like Earl's that has never won anything but People's Choice of every show it's gone to. So that gives you a little idea of the quality that comes out of Final Finish. Those boys are absolutely awesome. And the guys at Holly Performance, they have so many different lines. If you can't find a part for your hot rod at Holly, my friend, you don't have a hot rod. Those guys can cover you no matter what you need to get that bad boy on the track or on the show car circuit or whatever you want to do. Last but not least, the great friends of ours at Gearhead Gazette. Please take time to go to GearheadGazette.com. You will find all of the coolest events going on anywhere in this whole southern area. You will find them all on Gearhead Gazette. You'll also find pictures and stuff like that of the past shows that they've done or been to, and it's just really cool to be able to plan your time. Just GearheadGazette.com and check it out. As we always say, guys, if you have enjoyed what you have heard, please tell a friend. If not, keep it to yourself. Thanks again for joining us. We'll talk again.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.